5058, 5060, 5061, and 5617. I believe we have some folks from Representative Posthumus's office. Garrett and Father Joe Brown.
Yes, sir.
So I had to watch what I said while I was here today. So yes, thank you.
Good afternoon. My name is Garrett Medina, and I'm the Legislative Director at Representative Posthumus's office. Thank you, Chair Nesbitt, and members of the Senate Committee on Regulatory Reform for allowing me to speak on behalf of Representative Posthumus's bills 5058, 5060, 5061, and 5617. Before you today, we have a straightforward and simple bill package. This legislation would exempt industrial hemp from what is considered adulterated food, commodities, or products for humans and animals. It would also provide protections for purchasers, including independent testing for THC levels and safety. Industrial hemp is considered a plant, part of a plant, seeds of a plant, or simply a product of 0.03% THC concentration. Modern levels of THC can contain as high as 35% THC. This package would be a voluntary effort to grow the agricultural industry in the state of Michigan. It would also allow consumers to enjoy non-intoxicating hemp products such as sealants, ropes, and fibers. Our plan protects purchasers of industrial hemp, including allowing them to bring civil actions against growers for injuries they sustained in violation of the Industrial Hemp Growers Act. It would also require manufacturers to hire an independent lab to test industrial hemp products added to food for THC levels and safety. With these commodities not being intoxicating, Representative Posthumus believes that this industry is senselessly being held back from flourishing in our state. At this time, I would like to introduce Joe Brown from the Michigan Hemp Farmers Association to provide more detail and answer any questions that you may have. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and thank you, members of the committee, for letting me speak. Father Joe Brown. I'm the Executive Director and the lobbyist for the Michigan Hemp Farmer Association. We are a diverse, faith-based 501c nonprofit. I have the distinct honor to be the very first and only Michigan business owner to receive a federal hemp research permit and a Michigan Department of Agriculture and Rural Development food processing license from 2014 through 2018. I own the only legal Michigan hemp food processing company to date. In 2016, we received a cease and desist letter from the FDA to stop all manufacturing of adulterated hemp food products or face possible removal of our hemp research permit and or fines and jail. We immediately destroyed all our inventory after receiving legal advice to cease and make any hemp food products from 2016 through today. I'm here today to try to help fix some problems in the Michigan industrial hemp industry. Currently, Michigan retailers across the state are selling millions of dollars of unregulated and unlicensed CBD hemp food products made for human and animal consumption. Most hemp food products are from out of state. These products can be found at almost any Michigan retailer. This is happening despite the 2018 USDA final rules and Michigan Public Act 641, which forbids human and animal food products to be adulterated with hemp. Here are two examples of how these bills can bring legality and stability to a very troubled Michigan hemp industry. First and most important is ensuring that safe, regulated, Michigan-made hemp food products are available in the Michigan market legally. HB 5058 legalizes hemp food products for humans and animals while creating a regulated hemp food industry for retailers and farm markets. Secondly, HB 5617 gives us hemp processors the rules and policy on making safe, reliable, Michigan-made hemp food products. This bill will ensure that all hemp food products made in Michigan meet or exceed all food safety and testing requirements. The current Michigan hemp industry desperately needs the stability and the regulation that will come from the passage of HB 5058, 5060, 5061, and the tie bar bill, HB 5617. Ladies and gentlemen, today the hemp farmers and hemp business owners of Michigan humbly request that every member of the Regulatory Reform Committee please legalize and regulate hemp food products in Michigan by passing HB 5058 and HB 5617. We also ask the committee pass HB 5060 and HB 5061 to solidify industrial hemp as a true commodity and limit current liabilities for Michigan hemp farmers. Thank you for everyone's time.
Thank you for your
you, sir.
testimony. Questions? Senator Lowers.
Thank you for your testimony. And I don't know, maybe I should ask the chair, is Allison Arnold going to be speaking? She's going to be testifying, so maybe we'll, there's a letter here we've received on the committee from Ms. Arnold that I think it's speaking to these bills when it says that THC and CBD distillates are indistinguishable and that THC cannot be tested for, which doesn't make sense to me because I know that we have the requirement that the actual hemp, which is enforced by the state of Michigan, has to be below the 0.3% THC before you can even put it into the system. So my question is there no test for a THC level, or is there a test for THC levels?
We do test currently, and we do third-party testing currently. The problem with the food products that are on the market currently, they're from out of state, generally speaking, because it's prohibited from MDARD for licensees like my family's company to make hemp food products at this time. So we're seeing a lot of imported hemp from other legal states come in, and it's really discouraging to Michigan hemp farmers and producers like my family's business because we don't get to participate in that exact same market.
Right, I understand, but my question is we gave a lot of money to MDARD to establish a lab that is to test for THC level. This
Yep.
letter says THC and CBD distillates are indistinguishable. So are they or aren't they?
They are. That's my understanding. The Cannabis Regulatory Agency recently was changed from the Marijuana Regulatory Agency by the governor, and that goes back to House Bill 4517. And basically, hemp has been redefined when it comes to nutraceuticals and CBD drops and that type of product. So the state of Michigan has the system set up now where we actually bring the hemp products into the metric to be tested. It's under the same health and safety guidelines that exist in the metric already. We're just coming in and riding along now in the metric.
I'm not sure I'm pleased about any of that, but as one who worked on hemp for many years to get to this point, and we're still kind of treating it like a drug. But I guess that my whole assumption is based on the fact that it's not, that we're proving that it isn't, and it can't go in. In fact, we've never really dealt with the whole other side of what do you do with the product that doesn't meet the tests, because as I understand it from a hemp grower, the product has no value unless it's under the, and then when you take it to a processor, they take it to zero on top of that. They don't even want the 0.3 thing. They just want it to
we
zero.
don't. We want zero.
So if we have the ability to take something from 0.3 to zero, don't we have the ability to make everything zero? But anyway, I think that answers my questions, and I'll wait for Ms. Arnold to see if we're missing something here. Thank you.
Any other questions? Thanks, Senator. Thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Next up, Allison Arnold. Wishes to speak, oppose the bill. Policella? What is that? Is that a law firm?
It is.
Okay. Is there a history on that name? It was on before. Yeah, push it again. You were on before. They kept it on. There we go.
Sorry about that.
Yep. Policella. Interesting.
So good afternoon, members of the Regulatory Reform Committee and Chair Nesbitt. My name's Allison Arnold, and I'm a former Monroe County prosecutor, and I'm currently a partner at Policella PLLC. Yep. And I'm here today to oppose this package of bills because they pave the way for the creation of a new and synthetic dangerous drug. And as you know, industrial hemp is a legal good in commerce, and it's regulated by the U.S. Department of Agriculture. Currently, it's illegal to add hemp-derived CBD to food, and these bills circumvent current federal law and would allow hemp-extracted CBD and other derivatives to be chemically converted into a synthetic form of THC that's very cheap to make and dangerous. And there are three major problems with that. First, the conversion process to make CBD into THC uses strong chemicals that could produce dangerous and unanticipated byproducts. Marijuana safety testing is based upon the extraction of naturally occurring THC from the marijuana plant. Chemical conversion of hemp uses chemical reagents to produce synthetic THC. This process has no safety record whatsoever and can create many varied unknown impurities. And they have the potential of being toxic when combusted or ingested. Minors and teens would likely embrace synthetic THC available at ultra-low prices. So combined with the toxic byproducts, this new cheap synthetic THC presents a serious danger to Michigan youth. Second, we would be incentivizing hemp growers from all across the country to bring hemp into Michigan. And hemp looks and smells exactly like marijuana, and THC and CBD distillate are indistinguishable by appearance. So if you have a bunch of CBD distillate and THC distillate, law enforcement's unable to tell the difference. So this would be a clarion call from criminals across the United States to bring THC distillate into Michigan and would place a huge burden on Michigan law enforcement. Third, unlike marijuana, hemp isn't regulated at all. And the lack of regulation would do two things. It would result in the unchecked spread of hemp fields all over the state without any municipal control, and it would destroy Michigan's licensed marijuana industry, and along with it cost the state tens of thousands of living wage, non-outsourceable jobs, and hundreds of millions in tax revenue. Virtually anyone can get a cheap license to grow hemp, and it can be grown on any non-residential property without municipal approval. Marijuana is subject to strict municipal approval, and marijuana industry, they pay tens of thousands of dollars just to be licensed. The adverse impact on the new marijuana industry by encouraging the mass importation of unlicensed, unregulated hemp from all over the country into Michigan cannot be overstated. Prices for marijuana and marijuana products will collapse. Michigan-grown marijuana flower will be replaced by synthetic THC because out-of-state hemp is so much cheaper to grow. Most of Michigan's licensed cannabis businesses will go out of business, and 2 or 3 massive companies will take over the industry. This could refuel the black market trade, could take away hundreds of millions in tax revenue, economic development, licensing fees in the state, and Michigan's economy would suffer. In 2018, Michigan voters chose to legalize cannabis as it has been grown, used, and understood for hundreds of years, as a natural product of botanical origin. They didn't intend to rubber stamp the creation of fully synthetic drugs. As a member of a large and growing coalition of licensed cannabis companies, law enforcement agencies, scientists, and municipal leaders opposing hemp conversion, I believe these bills would pave the way for that and would have devastating consequences for Michigan's communities, our youth, and our state's economy, and therefore should not be adopted. Some of this statement, you may have questions about this statement and about hemp conversion, and I thank you for your time, and I'm happy to answer any questions.
You representing anybody specifically, or?
I'm with Policella PLLC, and
It's a law firm, so you represent, are you just
We
here
represent
pro
hundreds
bono,
of-
or are you representing somebody specifically?
not anyone in particular. We represent hundreds of licensed cannabis businesses.
Okay, and so, okay. Senator Lowers.
Okay, there's a few things in your testimony that just don't make sense to me. The first one, unless I'm totally misinformed, that I don't think growers of cannabis today have to have a permit from their local municipalities. They sure don't in my neck of the woods. I mean, they buy a home and start growing.
Well, if you're in the licensed industry, you do. Caregivers do not. Individuals do not.
Okay. And you know, as a farmer, and my goal all along with bringing hemp to market was to crush the market as we normally do in agriculture and make it so cheap that there would be no illicit side of this product, and therefore no reason to have a black market if it got cheap enough. I guess that's the other side of the, one of the things I look at on this. But it seems like most of what you're saying is this is going to allow people to break the law and make money breaking the law, which is always a crime, right? So, but somehow this is going to encourage that more than what we have today. But at the same time, the whole reason we wanted to get hemp legalized in the first place is so people could use the medicinal purposes of it. And of course, foods and ointments are the great ways to do that. So are you saying we're totally off base on where we're heading with these bills and trying to do that? We're better off to keep importing stuff we're not testing so that we don't encourage an illegal market? I'm having
Well,
trouble following that.
There's some large multi-state companies who want to take hemp-derived CBD and convert it into THC. And this
Which would be illegal, right?
Well,
As far as I know, in our
This-
hemp laws, that would be major illegal.
well, this paves the way for that, because part of the reason that can't be done is because you can't add CBD to food.
Maybe we need to just work with the author and be specific in saying that you can't convert CBD to THC, which in order to be hemp in this state in the first place, you have to prove that you're under 0.3, and the processors want to go to 0.
Right, I think that if there was an amendment to this package that stated specifically that hemp could not be converted to marijuana, could not be
Hemp needs
converted
to be
to.
hemp, and marijuana can be marijuana.
Right,
We
and
just need to come up with that amendment.
I think we're in agreement on that principle. The problem is there's a couple large companies that keep trying to push this hemp conversion, and this could potentially lay the pathway for that. In fact, the CRA just had a package of administrative rules that was going to allow that, and we opposed that package, and they did withdraw those administrative rules. But Director Brisboe said that it's still on the table. There's something that it's something they're still considering, but they decided to put a halt to it now. But the licensed industry, I can speak for the vast majority of the licensed industry, except for a couple large multi-state operators, opposes that. And that conversion it was opposed by CRA's Scientific Regulatory Agency because it's dangerous. So we just don't want to have hemp be allowed to be in food and dietary supplements, cannabinoids from hemp to be allowed in food and dietary supplements, and that be a way to allow this conversion process or extraction from hemp to become
Mr.
marijuana.
Chairman, we're all good right up to there. Are you saying you don't want hemp cannabinoids to be allowed in food, period, or hemp cannabinoids that have THC in them to be allowed in food?
Right, if they have THC. And one of the things in this package of bills I noticed on the testing, the independent laboratory testing, it only talks about Delta 9 level. It doesn't
there's
talk.
several, right.
Yeah, it doesn't talk about THC level altogether. So that could potentially allow unregulated Delta 8 and other THC.
All right. Thank you.
THCs.
Mr. Chair, if you're willing, I'm sure that we could contact the sponsor and find a way to make sure that we're clear on these things, because it's really, I think the intents are consistent, where it's just maybe making sure that it's
Happy to work with your
secure
office.
enough.
Yeah, happy to work with your office, Senator. So, thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. I'm sorry, Senator Johnson.
Hopefully, in less than a minute, I just want to make sure I'm understanding this. They're doing this as a way to get around the law or a way to increase quality, or both?
Well, the motivations of these big companies is that you have a lot of hemp biomass right now that's available, and there are other states like Kentucky that has hundreds of thousands of liters of CBD distillate, and you can do this chemical conversion, and you can convert it to THC distillate, so marijuana extract, basically. But the conversion process is dangerous, and it thwarts the whole intent of hemp not being marijuana.
Right, but I just wanted to hone it down to two things, and I think it's to get around the law. And the only other question is it to increase some kind of quality or something that people derive from it? That's all I want to know. I get the rest.
If it doesn't, I'm sorry, to increase the quality of the THC distillate? Is that your
I
question?
was just asking, it appears they're trying to get around the law. Is that
Right.
correct?
Yep, they're
Okay.
trying to get around the
Does it
whole
do-
regulatory scheme of marijuana. They're trying to backdoor it by using hemp.
I understand. And then the only other question is the quality different then?
The quality, it's a serious safety concern because the conversion process is completely different. So there's all sorts of unknown impurities and byproducts. The scientists on the or Cannabis Regulatory Agency Scientific Advisory Work Group said that this needs to be tested in like a full-scale pharmaceutical lab because it's creating a synthetic drug.
And I understand all of that. But it's just one short question. Does it change the quality of what people derive from it? Just, that's all I want to know.
It does because it doesn't have, it's only THC. It doesn't have the terpenes and the other minor cannabinoids and all the benefits, I guess you would say, of marijuana.
Thank you.
Any other questions? Read in the cards, Madam Clerk.
Thomas Levine was Cannabis Counsel, not wishing to speak, opposes the bill. And Mary Jo Cox was Relief RX, not wishing to speak, opposes the bill.